Walthall's lived in the corner house. And that stairway on the outside of the second house was not there. It was sealed off. It was just the lower level. It was all that we had access to. We lived in that second house.
You couldn't go upstairs?
No.
Was it boogeyman upstairs, was there?
There might have been a staircase to it. No, we didn't have anything.
Well, I must say your house looks awful junky today.
It does.
God.
I'm going to have to do some yard work.
I'm telling you, this is terrible.
And this is where I almost got killed because there was a car parked out here in the street and I was running across the street to this house.
Was there a house set in here, Sean?
I don't think so.
Looks like there was.
Oh, there might have been. I don't remember.
This house, this place here on the corner is where we went for dental work.
Yes.
Dr. Fall. He was a hero of World War II. He fought fighter planes in the South Pacific.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Now he was written up. He has a Congressional Medal of Honor, Purple Hearts, all that.
My girlfriend in the third house down there, and she had several brothers. They're all sisters, and they were all older than she.
Was the school on down here? I'll be damned. I'm not the wrong place every time. I'm clown one turn. Where was the school? On which corner? This
Well,
corner?
Emerson.
Yeah, Emerson. That's what this is called, Emerson Homes. There was a big school sitting right here on the corner where Sean went to school.
Yeah, right here to the left.
It's all homes now. Habitat built those homes, I think.
Somewhere along this block, I don't remember where.
Of course, Grandma in later life lived right down there, a couple blocks for a short time.
Yeah.
Then she moved out in those senior homes.
And the one that helped move her is Karen.
How we doing, Ari? Okay?
Karen Lostetter.
Where did Josie and her sister, what was their last names at St. Paul? Was in this house here? Who lived there, Sean?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I think it was a boy somewhere around
Maybe that's where they lived.
age.
Anyway. We had a couple gals up here we'd come up to see all the time.
Joanne Brooke lived in that house, I think. But I thought the girls you're talking about lived on this side street here to the left, but I'm not sure.
No, they didn't live on the left-hand side. I
They
remember getting chased out of the house and rolling down the hill.
Okay.
What was his name who lived along here, Fat? His dad had the restaurant downtown. Picked Zerny and I up, brought us back from Newcastle in a basketball game. Fat, what was he? He was fat. He was big around. Oh, you know who I mean, child. Drove a Mercury station wagon. Dad bought it. These used to be real fine apartments when we was kids. And that was Friends Church there.
I don't know.
This is where Mike went to school, kindergarten. Walked down here to
And
mom
when
and dad.
kindergarten was out, he walked across this railroad track.
Got his
And he got
foot
his
caught in the
foot-
rail.
Foot caught one time. And some man saw him and stopped his car and got his foot out of the rail.
This is Man and Paul's house when we moved to in 1939.
And so then Mike would walk down here and stay until Pat picked him up when he got off work. And Amanda fixed him what'd she call him, finger toast, or I think that was it. It was finger something.
Yeah.
And then toast sizes, slices.
We lived here where there was 4 houses right here. No, wrong block. Right here there was 4 houses back to the corner, 3, and then one back on that corner there. We lived there from 1936 to 1939. I used to try to climb up the side of that church when I was a little kid. Never quite made it to the top. 1936, we moved up here from Southern Illinois. My dad couldn't make a living barbering on 10-cent shave or 10-cent haircuts and 5-cent shaves, so we moved up here. We lived here for about a month in a house right along in here. And then we moved over to the house on Adams Street, was owned by the dentist here. Then we moved down to where Mom and Dad lived down here, 1008 South Adams.
Pretty much shambles, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah.
I went to school right down here on the corner, the St. Paul's Catholic School right there on that corner. That was the nun's house, that brick building down there. There was a big house set right back there on that corner. They'd stripped the inside out of it, and it was our basketball court. Played basketball in there. There was 2 houses in there, the Burrs and the Orrs lived over there. This was the nun's home. The priest's home was next door. I used to come over and rake this yard all the time for the nuns. They always had me doing something because I lived so close to church. I have served 6 o'clock mass. I and Jack Bossler, who lived on down this street about 2.5 blocks. That guy lived on that corner, give me a rooster one day. I forget what they call it, dog, a banty rooster. I took it home, and Mom said, well, put him down in the basement, and then you can get rid of him tomorrow. Well, about 5 o'clock the next morning, that damn rooster started crowing. My dad didn't know he was in the house. Oh, was he upset, because he was working 3 to 11 night shift. He just got to bed. Oh, me, that was a long night. This used to be a cemetery. Kid in there by the name of Hubert, who Aunt Jean and he were good friends, and we all played together in that great big house. His home was across the street, and his father got killed walking across the street one time. This used to be the YWCA here on this corner. It might still be, I don't know. This was a Chronicle publishing company, well, still said Chronicle Tribune. And this here was the old Leader Tribune. It says so up on the top of it. Sears and Roebuck was over here on these buildings here. And there was a big hotel on this corner with Spencer Hotel.
My father worked across the street from the Sears building and Sears home building department. My father was the head of that building department.
There was a tree they cut down, of course, where they hung 2 black men in 1930. Oh, it might have been 29 or 31 or something like that. I don't know that I was born yet. We certainly didn't live here, but the FBI come down to Bridgeport with Dad Barber and questioned him. They were hung right here on this side. They were accused of raping a woman out on 38th Street. Whether they ever did or not in the jail, the jail was that brick building up clear down there on the corner.
This over
They
here,
broke in the jail. Shaw worked in this corner here, was called the Paris. Department store here called Hills. Everybody went to Hills. And this was called Marion Marion Hardware was a shop.
I don't know.
There across where Balls was.
Could have been. I really don't remember.
That was the Dodge agency right there at one time. Hodge. Library. I used to watch the lights flash on and off on the pumps. We lived right over there on that side. Studebaker dealership was right here in this building here. A few years, owned by Hollingsworth. This Myers Drive-In has been here ever since I can remember. This is the old A&P on the left-hand side, was the first real supermarket in Marion. This was the second place that I got a job, was Glasser Electric in there. That I went in and told Henry I wouldn't work for him for 25 cents an hour. This is where I had my very, very, very first job, right here. There was a grocery store on the end owned by two Jewish guys called the Wolf Brothers. And there was a tavern here and then a barber shop my dad worked at, owned by Mr. Wales.
She thinks you're picking her up.
He gave me a job shining shoes. I shined shoes and swept the floors and cleaned the tubs because the Pennsylvania railroad employees would come in and take a bath there after on a run on the weekend. I washed the tub.
I don't think
10
I ever
cents for
heard you
washing
say
the
that
tub
before.
and a quarter for sweeping the floors.
Ooh,
And I got 10 cents a shoe shine. A man by the name of Charles, it was Charles Milling Company, over there where you see that big smokestack. He'd come over and get a shoe shine on Saturday and he'd give me a quarter and I thought I died and went to heaven. A quarter was a lot of money back then. But that was where I had my first job, and then the second job was where I showed you there at Glasser's as we went by him and back to Man and Paul's here. Kid on the corner here by the name of Blaugher. He got killed over in Iran, working for the U.S. government. Kellys lived there. This was a big, fine home here, but I don't remember who lived in it anymore.
Didn't it eventually have something to do with the Catholic Church?
Yeah, eventually.
Nunnery or something?
So I got on my bicycle after I quit Henry Glasser and I rode all the way down here to the Challenge Club. I rode that bicycle all over Marion. I knew every nook and cranny of every alley. Oh, I kind of told you wrong. After I quit shining shoes, I worked down to Anaconda, selling sandwiches and pies. Then, after I think the war was over, then I went to work over at Henry Glasser's and quit. And then come down here, there was a flower shop down here. About right where it says Health Market. And this was a challenge company here. Auto parts like Napa. And I went to work in there. I imagine if you go up on the top floor, you'd see some initials up there on the walls. Zering and Blaugher and all the others. I worked there until I went to work for the Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Down here on this corner was a big parts house called Frank's Piston. And he had a His shop was across the street where it's all paved over there now. And Frank Sturm was the man's name that owned it. And actually he and Joe Cuppin from the Challenge had started the parts sales, and then Frank split off and opened that place of his own. It used to be the Nash dealership right in that corner there. It was owned by some people named Kiley. You remember when the Mickus girls lived down here on this corner, Charlotte? Right here, where the brick is.
When who?
The Mickus. Right there on that corner.
Mickus.
Mickus.
No, I didn't know those Mickus. I don't
This
think.
is where Culligan is now.
I can show you where some Mickus lived up in the next block. Into the left.
I used to park right along here. One time, somebody unhooked my spark plug wire and put a firecracker-like thing. Come out and start that little Chevrolet up. Pop, pop, pop. I thought sure as the world the engine blew up. Well, this isn't going to work too good.
Nope. One of you've got to give.
He stopped. This was a cleanup shop right here on the corner for the Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Our Timmons was our hard man that took care of that. There was a man that run a little garage right here on this corner that done worked this for everybody. This was the Chrysler Plymouth dealership. And that was after when Keith sold to Ray come over and bought all this and made a used car lot over here. And there was a print shop right across the street. Right here on the corner was a upholstery shop. So glass shop. And when who come out with that car with the light in the middle of the hood? Tuckers were sold right there by a guy by the name of Klaus. He lost about $5,000 or $6,000 because he never got it anymore. Well, Ashmore's down here, Charlotte. I'll be darned. This was the Lincoln Mercury dealership right here, and the Chevrolet dealership set right in here. So I worked back there at Chrysler Plymouth till, well, let's see, I guess I went to Barker's. Barker bought the place. This used to be the I&M Electric, Indiana, Michigan, right here on the corner. Pontiac dealership was right across the street. Munson Pontiac, right in there. Claude Munson had come down there and was going to go to work for him one time. They talked me out of it when I worked for Barker's.
Yeah.
This is where there was a big butcher shop right around the corner. I can't remember, that wasn't Bueller's, was it?
I don't think so, but it was right on the corner, I thought.
No, it was, because
Next.
there was a little banking and finance company here on this corner. Then this was First National Bank, which I've done a ton of business with. President, I'd say, was a good friend of mine. It used to be Marion's leading shoe store was right there with C&H. This was all pennies in here. And this was either Kresge or
Newberry's.
Newberry's?
Yep.
This was the other bank, Old Marion National Bank. Rogers Jewelers was there on that corner. Music lessons right here from a man by the name of Church.
I took
Hey, I like
lessons.
the airplane windmill.
I took music lessons there too.
Later it was the KSC Hall for the Knights of Columbus. was a dentist right there in that corner.
Did you ever take lessons, piano lessons there?
Me?
Uh-huh.
No. I wasn't smart enough.
You what?
I wasn't smart enough. This was when I was a kid. Dr. Levengood and another doctor offices was in there. That's where they tried to circumcise me. This was the Studebaker. Yeah, this was Studebaker here. This was where the MP is. I told you where to go. This was Lazarus. Pennsylvania Railroad. I used to come over and watch the engines go through.
That's where we saw Mike get off the train coming home from basic training.
There's a tunnel that runs from right over here by this building here over to this side underground, so you didn't have to cross the street many, many moons ago.
Is it still there?
As far as I know,
Yeah.
I used to run and play and come down and see a lot of them, but several of my classmates lived down in there. Kids by the name of Harry Golf lived down here. Jack Flake lived right there on that corner. Chrysler Plymouth dealer was right here after it moved from 2nd Street, but I showed you. Right here on the corner was a DX station. That's a Coca-Cola bottling plant right there.
And I have a picture of the Christmas party they had for the employees.
Where you see all this
Huge.
concrete is
Sure.
the part of the foundation of the building that was the Chrysler Plymouth dealership.
Oh, yeah.
That Sherry and Mike are in that
Yeah.
picture, aren't they, Pat?
Yeah. And Boss Grocery
It's in that empty lot.
was right there in that empty lot, and you could come in from it from the front off
Yeah.
of Washington Street, or you can come in from the side. If you come in from the side, you come in past the butcher's or where they kept the meat. They never made donuts there though. I was a kid. We lived down here in 1008, and I worked over there at Anaconda where that big smokestack was sticking up. I'd go over there and sell sandwich and pies 2 shifts, one at noon and one. See that water tower, that black water tower? That's still Anaconda. Anyway, I would have the noon and then the night 6 o'clock shift. And when I got done, I'd run from there clear out to Washington School and play ball. Used to be a
I'm trying to think.
business here on the corner called American Security, and Ray Vickery worked there at one time, and that's how he got involved in the car business. This was Lasky's shoe store right straight ahead that gray building, and then Montgomery and Ward's was next door. No, Montgomery and Ward's was the third door where the glass front is, and all the fancy ironwork up on the roof. And there was a drugstore. Where was the drugstore? So it was over there on the other side of the alley. When I would leave school before we moved to, I don't know how, but anyway, I'd stop and see meet my grandfather there. He loved to play poker. He'd be down there playing poker. I'd go in and then he'd walk me all the rest of the way. I'll show you where Grandma and his wife lived when we moved back to Marion in 1936. Pretty home. He had a little trucking outfit. He hauled all the fill and gravel from Grant Memorial, and that's how we come by the cemetery lot, because they paid him some money, but mainly they paid him in cemetery lots, and then he would sell them.
Yeah.
One of my girlfriends worked in a little drugstore right there, Pat O'Mara owned, and she lived on the opposite side of the street, on the other side of the brown brick building. Her father was the principal up at Washington Junior High. her mother hated me because I was Catholic. Her dad, who'd been in service, he thought I was the greatest thing since canned ham. He took Emily and I to all the Masonic dances and everything. The priest said, "You went to a Masonic dance?" Oh, yeah. "Well, don't you know that's a sin?" I said, "I didn't see anything sinful about it." Oh, Lord.
He did what?
Father McCarthy didn't think I should go to the Masonic dance.
Oh,
That's bad. This was my grandfather's home right here. Kimball Blaugher lived here. Big barn in the back, still there. There's probably a chicken house over on the right-hand side that you can't see. My grandfather died when he was only 59 from a kidney infection, if you can't believe that. Today, they'd have cured that, no problem at all. That's where I lived the first 2 weeks we were in Marion, in that house right there, until we rented that house on Branson Street for about a month, and then we rented a house on Adams Street off of Dr. Davis Clinic was right in down here. Place to go if you were sick.
the things we did to your kids, to our kids.
We played ball over here in the Coliseum, it was called at the time. I'd get done playing ball. I was in the junior leagues in 7th, 8th, and 9th. I'd get done there and come walking down through here and stop in about right in here someplace. This is where the original Krispy Kreme was, right on this side of the street. I'd give me a dozen. I think they were 35 or 40 cents for a dozen. And I'd walk on down through here and eat every one of them before I got to 1008 South Adams. That's where over there at that courthouse where Dad and Charlotte and I came and got our wedding license, marriage license. Mom said, "I'm not going to go down there." Dad said, "I don't care where you are or not."
Why did they both have to?
No, they didn't know that side. I got my dad more hot water. He always backed me up. "Paul, now you know that's not right. Paul." Oh, me.
Paul, put your jacket on.
That's right. Richard's.
Put your feet together.
Richard's men's clothing was the second door over
He'd
there.
put 'em
Where I
together.
bought all the suits.
If he sat down with his feet apart,
Yeah.
she couldn't think of anything else. Papa, put your feet together.
I never heard her say that.
Oh,
And right there
Many
on that
times.
alley corner over there was a groom's drugstore, and all the kids from high school hung out there. Going to grooms. In fact, my sister went with the guy that was pushing sodas in there.
I had told you, didn't I, that I've talked to Debbie, Gerard, every once in a while.
I think so. Yeah.
When George brought Krispy Kreme from where I showed you where I stopped and bought them, there was a DX station here on the corner, and his place was right in here. Krispy Kreme. Next door was the culling office, and I don't remember what was on the corner. That was where they started selling Krispy Kreme, right, Sean?
Yes.
Yep.
Then they moved down to 18th.
One time the license bureau was in this building right here. Ralph Smith, who I worked with later at Ray Vickery's, his wife was elected, or appointed, I suppose you'd say. This house right here, a little girl that went to Catholic school died when she was about 4 years old. just couldn't get over her being dead.
Who was that?
I think her name was Fowler. Patricia Fowler.
Fowler?
Fowler. God, these houses are so bad down through. This used to be such a nice district. That's where, as I told you, the school was. There's a little grocery store on that alley corner. And several houses along here. People the name of Sharon lived here on this corner right here. 3 boys. One of them, Robert, was drafted in the Army. He sent pictures home to, or brought them, I don't know which, to Jean of the Holocaust where they had the bodies stacked outside the prison or the concentration camps. And he made it back all right, all he had been through, and then they called him up from the Korean War, and Dorothy didn't get killed over Korea. This was, what was this, Charlotte?
Thomas Milne.
Thomas Milne, that was the name of it. That
1940.
Old man Thomas used to come over and pay me a quarter to shine his shoes. This is Adam's donut shop. The donut shop sat in a little grocery store right next to the alley here, wasn't it, Charlotte? Whoops, excuse me, sir.
It was 16th Street. I was.
Brits folks. Isn't this the Cox house right here, Charlotte? One of these two?
It was a 2-story. These aren't 2 stories.
These are 2 stories. Well, maybe he did live on Grant Street, but I didn't think they lived on Grant. I think Milligan lived on Grant. I'll bet it was one of the, it could have been this house right here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks familiar to
That's
me.
my kind of thing.
Top of the hill. Yeah, that is it.
The yellow.
Yeah, the yellow house there.
Yes.
I'm almost positive it wasn't this house with a porch across the front.
No.
Kate Smith was singing God Bless America on the radio or on a little big TV, I can't remember. But Phil, he was all wound up on Kate Smith. He said, get in here, get in here. You gotta listen to this, get in here. Kate Smith is singing. I said, Kate Smith? Who's Kate Smith? I thought he was gonna sing. What do you mean, who's Kate Smith? She's the greatest singer there ever was. Oh. You probably remember Kate Smith, Irene.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.